Hi, everybody. Welcome to another Chats with Chaudhry. I hope you're safe and well. Today, my guest is from Astrea Bioseparations. This is Grianne Dunlevy, who is the Director of Delivery of Research and Development. And today, we're going to be talking about the role of R&D in chromatography and bioprocessing new product development. So first of all, Grianne, it's lovely to see you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
It's lovely to see you. Thank you for taking time to talk to me today. Where are you calling in from?
I'm here from Cambridge, yeah.
All right, I was in Cambridge only yesterday, actually. I was at an LRIG event in Cambridge for CRISPR. So very different topic, I
Fantastic.
know,
Yeah.
but it's a lovely part of the world. Right, so before we start talking about R&D within chromatography bioprocessing product development, for those people not familiar with Astrea Bioseparations, would you mind, one, giving me a quick overview of the business? And secondly, tell me, what does a director of delivery of research and development actually do in your own background?
Fantastic, yes. So Astrea Bioseparations, we produce chromatography resins aimed at bioprocessing, obviously, so for purification of biologicals. We have a manufacturing suite on the island, so we can produce chromatography resins for GMP processes, but we also produce some for research use only and for different grades, and that can be loose resin or packed into columns. In R&D, we're looking not only at new resins, but at new fiber chromatography development as well, which we think is really exciting. So as Director of Delivery for R&D, it's my job to make sure that we deliver on the new products as the market would want and fill those market needs. My background, originally, I started out in biotech, and I've worked on biopharmaceuticals in the R&D sector for many years, and then on production of antibodies and antigens, proteins as reagents. So I've got a long history of purification myself and using similar products, and in fact, products from Astrea before I came to work here. So yeah.
Fantastic. You're perfectly qualified then to talk about this very topic. So brilliant. So let's talk about projects then. I mean, how many projects does your R&D team run at any one time?
Yeah, we run around 20 projects at any one time. But whilst that sounds a lot, some of those are new product development. Some of those are projects that support other projects, such as generation of feedstocks, and some of them are applications. So we run a separate project for an application so we can generate those application notes for our customers, so it's really clear how to use our products.
Right. And how do you go about deciding what type of projects you actually work on? And sort of a supplementary question to that is, because there are different projects, how do they vary in terms of not just length of time, but in terms of resource as well?
Yeah, so as you can see, we've got quite varied projects. We break them down into these small projects. So some projects may only have 2 people working on them, whereas some projects have larger teams of 4 or 5 people. And just like that, some projects only take a few months, whereas for applications, for example, whereas some projects might take 1 to 2 years. And yeah, going right through from the initial concept to tech transfer into our manufacturing facility.
Right. Okay. And in terms of, obviously, we've just been coming out of the pandemic. So what challenges have you guys faced as a group, in terms of developing the projects, both previously in the last couple of years and also looking ahead to this year as well and beyond?
So actually thinking of our major challenges going forward, as I mentioned briefly, our new technology is fiber chromatography. And so one of our challenges will be showing the marketplace the advantages that fiber can bring. Going back to the other part of your question, how do we choose the projects that to work on and develop? Thinking of the fact that we've got R&D right through to production and can produce those resins and fibers for GMP. That means that we focus on markets that can use it all the way through. So we're supporting our customers right through from their R&D development right through to delivery, but also even research use only customers. Currently, we're very focused on things that can bring an advantage when on fiber as opposed to a bead-based chromatography. So that's why we currently have a cell and gene therapy focus for a lot of our new products. As a lot of the listeners will know, the viruses being large, it's more difficult to pass them through a bead-based matrix, whereas the fibers having the larger pores are more suited to this. And also it concentrates up your sample more than a bead would do. So there are a lot of advantages there. So we're focused on looking at products that can bring those advantages to the market at the moment. And our challenge is making sure that the customers understand the advantages that we can deliver. These advantages aren't only in the technology itself, but in actually bringing a more sustainable product to the market as well that uses less water resource.
Right. Well, that brings up an interesting point, actually. So from a customer's perspective, are they asking you for new types of research or data that they haven't asked previously? Because you mentioned sustainability, for example. So are there areas now that you're having to do more research on to help support your customers?
I think they're always in R&D are new areas that you have to do new research on to support your customers, and they're always new and exciting demands, and that's what keeps the job interesting for me. So yeah, I think that's the nature of the beast. We're constantly answering new questions and coming up with new solutions and coming up with better products than those on the market already. Yeah, there are quite a lot of challenges with production of viruses. And we think that we have a good solution to that will be coming on the market, certainly in terms of DNA production, purification. So we feel that we can really address those needs going forward.
Right, okay. And Astrea, I understand, are expanding both the R&D site and capability product ranges. So can you talk a bit more about that and also how you see that impacting the industry going forward?
Yeah, so that again relates to what we're doing in terms of R&D and our new products that we're developing. So the R&D site is expanding in order to be able to shift our focus towards cell and gene, because we need to generate different feedstocks to generate those application notes. So we have to grow our own viral feedstocks and DNA feedstocks, RNA feedstocks, in order to be able to test out our products. And so we've expanded here to include labs to do just that. The other part of your question was, how does that have impact, on the industry going forward? So with our product ranges for cell and gene therapy being fiber-based, this helps with the process intensification of the downstream processes for cell and gene, and reduces the environmental impact, as I say, because it uses less water. So it increases sustainability and ultimately reduces the cost of that biopharmaceutical, because as you can think, if you intensify the process, you produce more in the same time, the cost should be lower. And that means that those really exciting new therapeutics can reach a wider group of people and patients who need them.
Fantastic. And you mentioned obviously cell and gene therapy. So from your perspective, working in the sector and having worked across obviously a number of different areas over the years, what do you see the future for therapies going forward? I mean, I know it's a big question, but I mean, people talk about lots of different therapies now. As I said, I was at a CRISPR event only last week, and a CAR TCR event the week before that, and there's so many different ones out there now. So how do you see the market developing going forward?
Yeah, I think that all of these new therapies are very exciting. I did work in immuno-oncology for some time, which is another fascinating field. And in a similar way, the cell and gene therapy is looking to target your immune system to help your immune system understand how to attack that cancer. Cell and gene therapy, though, goes broader than oncology. But if we think just on oncology for now, there are different therapies that fit different types of cancers. So cell and gene therapies don't have great tissue penetration, whereas you might get better tissue penetration with a different immuno-oncology drug. And so it just depends on which cancer that someone has, which is the best therapy. But what I find amazing, having worked in R&D in biopharma for a long time, is actually how these therapies are so much more successful than what went before. And you can see that from the survival rates of people today. It's just transformed. So these therapies are really transforming how we see cancer in particular.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So if you want to know more about what you do, though, in terms of Astrea, where can they get more information?
Yes, you could get more information on our website. Yeah. And of course, feel free to contact us at Astrea anytime.
Brilliant. All right. Well, that's fantastic. That's all the time I've got, because I know you're very busy doing all your projects, and we've had to try and squeeze you in to get this interview in. So I will leave it at that. But there you go, viewers. If you'd like to know more about what Astrea are doing, and also learn more about the R&D work that they're doing, you can go straight to their website and find out more. The link for it will be above the video, or you can get in touch directly by leaving comments below the video, or messaging Grianne on LinkedIn as well. I think she's on LinkedIn. I'm sure I'm connected.
That's true, yeah.
And you can message her on LinkedIn as well. And also, I know they are at a lot of events in the coming months as well, both here, Europe, and in the US. So feel free to check them out at one of their booths as well. So all that's Grianne say, thank you very much. Good luck with the rest of the work that you're doing and all the different projects you're working on.
Thank you so much. Great talking to you.
It's lovely to see you. And thank you, viewers, for watching. I hope you found that interesting. And until next time, as always, stay well and stay safe. Bye-bye.
Bye.